All right, so we're here in one of the creepiest places that I have ever been. We're in Xochimilco, outside of Mexico City, and this is the Isle of the Dolls, La Isla de las Muñecas. This is an island. Just take a look around. Let's go ahead. Just look at all of. There's thousands of dolls. There's over 3,000 dolls hung around this island. It's a really bizarre spot. Now, the history behind this island is Don Julián was the man who used to live here. And back in 1950, a young girl, like 10 to 13 years old, she fell into the water. There was a lot more water back then. She drowned in the canal. She drowned right here next to the island. And so after she drowned, he felt that tragedy. He felt terrible about it. And he felt that her spirit haunted the island, like a lot of these ghost stories where somebody dies a tragic death and their spirit is said to stay there. Something stays behind after that tragedy, something left undone. And so what he did, that he would hear things, see things, he'd see shadows moving around. And what he did to try to calm that spirit, to try to put the spirit at rest, he hung up all these dolls here because it was a young girl, so he wanted her spirit to be happy. So he hung all these dolls up, and they've just accumulated more and more. That was, again, 1950 we're talking about. So at this point, there's over 3,000 of them. We're going to take a quick walk through the island. Let's take a look. It's just a very surreal place. People who come visit this island, they say that they see things move that they can't account for. I was just talking with a young lady who works here. There's a little snack shack. And she was telling me that she said nobody likes to stay here at night after dark. Nobody likes to stay after the sun goes down because that's when strange things happen. She said one of the most haunted places is right over here, the woman's bathroom, the woman's latrine. It's an outhouse, and the woman's outhouse is one of the most haunted spots. She said you see shadows moving around. You'll hear little footsteps, like a little pitter-patter of feet moving around, somebody walking around. And nobody likes to use that outhouse at night. So, and she says, the darker it gets, the later it gets, you'll see shadows moving around. Something out of the corner of your eye, you'll see a little tiny shadow moving past. So nobody lives here anymore. Don Julián, who started this, he lived here for a long time. He lived in that little cabin right over there. That was his home. He lived here. He farmed the land, and but then he passed on. He left it to his nephew. He didn't have any children. His nephew inherited it, and then the nephew of the nephew inherited it. But at this point, this Isle of the Dolls, like the dolls, they've taken on a life of their own now. So at this point, the way he described it to us is that there's something in these dolls. Something in them, and he said it's hungry. It's something dark, and it's hungry, and it wants the life force that we've got inside of us. He said, we're not talking about meat or a person's body. We're talking about the energy, the life, the light. He said, over on the other side, there's no hay flacos y no hay gordos. There's no skinny people, there's no fat people. There's just light and dark. But there's something here that's hungry for that energy of humans. So he said, out here, it's like when you go fishing in the waters of Xochimilco, you need bait. Well, out here, we're the bait. Isle of the Dolls here in Xochimilco. Let's take a little walk around and see.
All right, I'm taking